Greetings people, Person here, and today we're gonna take a look at something that I looked at not too long ago, and that is RSS3 and the idea for a decentralized social media and various other applications in the future. So, this time though, we're gonna focus not so much on the technical stuff, but more on the idea behind it and the future vision, what you can actually do with the software and the technology. If we pretend this one would be a scientific paper, then we gotta state the problem, we're gonna find solutions, and then come to a conclusion. So I would say that's how the video is built on, if that makes sense. I will give you a disclaimer, as always, that links to everything in the description down below, and this one is not financial advice, despite the token sale going on right now, at least when I record this, where you could go to this page over here on Copper and then grab their token in an auction if you feel like it. Keep in mind this might have already ended, but just so you know, you could give the money at the time of this recording, doesn't mean you have to. And with the disclaimer out of the way, first a short introduction, what is this exactly? Well, they say that it's the next generation feed standard that aims to support efficient and decentralized information distribution. We now have like a ton of different buzzwords that are kind of hard to understand. And for that, they wrote an entire introductory paper over here, a whole essay basically, on RSS3 and their own token. So the idea right now is pretty simple. When it comes to like anything social media related, or basically any website ever, any platform, those things are not decentralized, meaning that the company behind it has the power to do anything they want with. Think about Twitter, for example. They can just ban you. They could IP block you. If you make a new account, they can trace it back to the VPN you use and then block you again. And when it then comes to freedom of speech, that doesn't exist when there is a centralized monopoly somewhere out there. Or let's think about YouTube, for example. The moment YouTube and their headquarters have a power outage and their servers aren't online, then there is no YouTube. So you can see how there's like a problem when everything is centralized, because it is easy to attack and it's easy to abuse that power. So the idea in here is simple yet very important for Web3, and that is making everything decentralized. Running nodes in various parts of the world, giving all the power to the users and to the giant community of people, and making everything as decentralized as possible so that we can revolutionize this status quo. So what they're doing here is with RSS3 is to give every persona or every wallet an RSS3 file, which is the source data of a profile with a constantly updating feed. So you might have seen the following thing. If you talk about getting a Rubik's Cube, for example, and you then go to Amazon, you might get a Rubik's Cube recommended, just because your phone is constantly listening to you, and other big tech companies, especially advertising companies out there, use that information to show you stuff so you can buy it. And then you get ads for stuff on Twitter, for example, that you've also seen on YouTube. And then here build a social media feed that is completely user configured, but is an aggregation of all the activities the user has. For example, if I'm interested in certain music, certain art, and specific games out there, then my social media feed might be everything that I do in the internet, but in one place. And that is then utilized over here by different applications to build social media, networks, games, and even e-commerce platforms. So that way we have decentralized technology that is completely configured by you, the user. And they also had a couple different sites that already use the technology, and they noticed something in there. For example, over here on a website called Cheers, you already have something like a social media feed, but the interesting thing was that I didn't follow this account over here through this website. You will notice that I follow 8 different accounts over here, which you can see in my bio for the wallet that I connected to the site with, but I actually used a different site called Reverie to first of all follow different accounts. And then because on this social media site over here, I followed certain accounts that I then put onto this other site, so I have my own feed of people that I follow. So that way, for example, instead of using Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, and like 50 other sites out there just to get information from different accounts, you could have one single feed. It shows you the most important things based on your interest and based on your experience, based on your history. You can also set filters over here. For example, let's filter for just NFTs. And we get this one over here, for example. Like any NFT, you can right click that and save it, and then it's basically free. But you can also change what you can see in your own feed. And in order to make this work, they already have a single node set up. And that was since the end of September last year, where they had 55,000 wallets connected with over 19 million requests already. They formed a 20+ people team all around the world, partnered and supported a bunch of different blockchains and networks out there like Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche Flow, and Solana's on the way as well. And they got over 10 different applications already that work based on the information distributed by RSS3. One thing that I would be personally pretty hyped about is if I listen to, let's say, music in the radio, on YouTube, Spotify, and in a Netflix show, and I get a compilation of things that I as a user like the most in one single feed. That would be a sick idea. If they could build that, I'll be really happy. Now, in order to make all of this work, obviously, they need some form of investments, and for that, they're backed by like 20 to 25 different venture capitals, including QB, Avalanche, Reef, and others in here. And they also, as mentioned in the beginning, have their own token sale going on right now, as they also want to have their own DAO. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, or in other words, the community as a whole, because everything is decentralized, can vote on different things and decisions made for the project. When it comes to governing through the token, it can be used for the following things. It can elect nodes and indexes, select the round of an epoch. For example, if you stake your Cardano, your ADA, an epoch is usually 2 weeks. If you stake Solana, it's usually 3 days. And that is the time it takes for how long your tokens are locked up. And when you get paid out in your percentage in the APY that this staking pool would offer when it comes to the rewards. projects. But those are just some examples, as they say, for now. So this list is very likely going to continue with a lot of more features in the future. So when it comes to the future of the project and everything they're working on, imagine you change the entire world and how you use your phone and social media in general, and how information is distributed in a feed to you. Obviously, that's hard to imagine, but exactly that is what they're working on as of right now. So the closer we get to the whole platformness, the nature of crypto, and also minimizing the monopoly that Web2 platforms have as of right now, you might very likely hear about this and the implementations fairly soon again. When you think about building the future, they're actually building the future. I would just say, make sure to follow them on their journey so you can see exactly everything made in here, all the decisions that lead the project forward, and maybe you become an active community member as well if you like the vision and what they're working on. I would just say, the links to absolutely everything are in the description down below. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and until then, take care.